As you guys sleep, Jack, when you wake up in the morning, you had a bad dream of something terrible happening, but you're not really sure what it was. You wake up in the morning, and when you gotta go to pull the covers off, you feel very tender on the inside of your wrists. You kind of look down, and you see a red mark, and you see on each side of your wrists, here and here, are tattoos. On the right hand, two crowns. On the left hand, 2 skulls.
Nice.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
So,
Oi, chunk.
you gain the boon, Kaitak's boon, or Kaitak's blessing.
Oh God.
I'll get you the exact stats on it, but basically the gist of what it's going to be is, if you once per encounter, you can use this. You can choose as a free action before you make an attack roll to activate the boon. If you do, every target you hit with an effect with at least 2 of the types fire, thunder, force, or lightning, have at least 2 of those types, you get an effect. After you hit them, you roll a d6 and you can slide them that number of squares. Once per day, you can ignore the I need 2 types effect for one encounter.
I didn't get you anything, Gary.
So for the whole day they're closed, or just for later? Until later?
It was
No,
night.
it was
It's
night.
Yeah,
It's
no,
She
no.
had said
I say
following morning.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
said
hear
morning.
that part.
Yes. You may go and ask him for it. Now, the morning is going to come, and Jack is definitely going to wake up late. And I imagine someone's going to let him sleep late because he didn't make it to the end without emptying his stomach a couple of times.
Yeah, I had to clean the cloak after a while.
I'm sorry about that, chunk. I has a question
He
for you.
comes in with a horrible tasting concoction to help Jack.
Did
I don't remember those, and I remember most of the night.
so you carried me home, right?
Jack.
So I will say, in the early morning,
Plug
if you
your
want to go
nose.
out and get it,
Yeah.
you can bring him the necklace
Oh
of dice.
God, this is gonna
Yeah.
be hard.
Well,
isn't it?
actually, I'm going to do something with
It
them.
should
I'm going
fix
to
what
find.
ails
I'm
you.
going to go up to
I'm
the
thinking it
nobles
may not be
quarter where
worth it.
there's probably some pretty good jewelers. I'm going to
Drink
have
it, Jack.
Of the dollar?
have them coated in a metal, and I'm going to
Yeah,
have
whatever
the
it
skulls
is, you probably are
and the
like,
crowns
oh my god, that
actually
was not happy on my
decorated.
stomach.
in gem,
And you didn't
so that
think
the crowns
he
actually
knew
look like
how to
the
create
jeweled
weird
crowns and the
How much?
skulls.
How much?
But that's what you think it was.
How much are you looking to spend? Because you can barter your way around and find how much money do you want to spend on this?
I don't remember getting this done.
Well, I'm more than willing to
I don't
provide
think
my
we
own
did.
gold, but I don't have any of the
Unless you
gems.
snuck
So
out. I don't think we were in shape to sneak
It's a very
out.
small gemstone, so
I don't
it
think so
probably
either.
won't be that much.
Yeah.
But
I
it
mean,
doesn't
I
matter.
carried you.
Are you looking to
and
spend
I
5 gold on
distributed
this? Or
all
are you looking to spend
at
50
the
gold? Like
room. Well, at the entrance of the room.
50
it's
gold
very
will get
small
you
and they're-
beautiful gems and
I think
everything,
one of the
and
girls
you get someone
carried
that
you
will
to the room.
actually do
Yeah.
a great
Yeah,
job.
no, I'm
5
looking to
gold to
spend-
basically get pieces of glass.
I'm
and
looking to
it'll be nice.
spend like the 50 gold because this not only am I making a
So-
gift for him, but I'm making it as kind of an offering to my god.
Mhm.
Because holy shit.
So,
If that wasn't his hand involved, then there's
you
no
go,
point in having any faith.
You go and go to one of the nicest jewelers in town.
Yeah.
It's going to take a couple of days to get it finished, but definitely says it can get it for you.
Yeah.
Come back.
And basically, the story of what happened last night has already made it to the jeweler. So
He's like, oh my
Tell
god,
him,
these are
These
the
are
dice.
the dice?
he doesn't go that far, but he does say, "Oh, I heard a story once about." But
I
the
will
story
tell
now
him
that it's
those are
gotten to
the
him.
dice.
Oh no, that happened
No.
years ago. Years ago.
No,
Yeah,
darling,
no,
it
it's
happened.
the last night.
And yes, I do call everyone darling.
Okay.
No, darling. That happened last night, and I was there.
And these are the dice.
I can give you the name of nobles that were at the very table.
All right.
I
And
most
he-
assuredly.
He
I
sets
can
up
give you
everything
the
for
name of the reverend guard that watched us play.
And verified that there were no cheating.
No,
So, you guys.
but I guarantee you the very hand of Kaitak was on those dice.
So, he agrees to do it for you, and you can head back to the inn.
Yeah.
Everyone is up and moving, and you guys have seen, well, at least Chunkus has seen the tattoos on Jack, which will be his boon.
I was going to say, we had handed him the icky concoction, and then went
Yeah.
back.
And actually, I'm going to go around town clearing up any business that I might need to clear up that doesn't need to sit while I'm gone, because I'm definitely following these crazy bastards. Whether they want me to or not, I have made a decision.
I thought you would like the pull to get you into this.
Yes, no.
I was going to say, between that and all
Well,
the crazy
honestly,
stories,
the stories just at the table, I would have followed just because I like Huey and they've got a crazy ass story. But yeah, no, this This is
I thought you
pulling
liked
You gotta
fate.
see this one through.
Yeah, this is.
We're
Jerked
all
on
had
a
a
lot
pretty
of
good flip
chains.
tonight. Alright.
Yeah.
So the morning combust, how are you doing over there? Toy?
We
Good.
are heading to the magic shop.
Next
then.
up is Magic Shop, although I think Jack is in no condition to be faced.
Oh, sorry.
You guys wake up in the morning,
That's okay, I'll
start
well-
getting going.
I'll be stoned.
Sitting down in the
If
common
he
room.
wakes up afternoon, I'll probably be back by then.
That's not afternoon. It's mid morning. But
Well,
when
I
we
mean,
go to
like
wake
after
before.
like noon time. If
My
he wakes
reasoning-
up, but if
my
it's mid
reasoning
morning, then
is-
yeah.
I just got to carry a whole bunch of stuff, and so the next interaction does not need to involve me being faced. And so that's
I understand that you're trying to do that, but remember, the whole purpose of the spotlight functioning is this is
Spotlight.
kind of your spotlight right now because it was very clearly on Chunkus for quite a long time. You know, it's going to be on you for a while. It's going to be moving back and forth. So don't be concerned with giving people a place at the table. I think is everyone enjoying Jack's spotlight here?
Oh yeah.
Or having fun? All right, good.
Having fun with it.
All right, so guys,
'Cause we still have
as you guys
storyline
kind
that's
of,
moving ahead.
stumble down with an extreme headache, you notice that there is a magician who's sitting flipping a coin. The coin is very, very big, and it's obviously not a piece of currency. It's meant for flipping. And as he sees you kind of like stumble down the stairs, he kind of snatches the coin and goes, a customer. And he kind of goes over towards you and says,
This poor fool.
it's like, sir, would you like to have that headache for the rest of the day, or can you be a chip lighter or two to get rid of it?
how much did we make yesterday?
She doesn't even care.
Well then, Coin Spinner, I believe I has a chip for you.
So
If you can do something about this headache.
I was
he
gonna say,
takes the thing, and when he grabs it, he lets it drop, flips the coin, and it disappears, and he puts his hand on the side of your head, and you feel a sense of warmness wash over you, and your headache just clears right up.
Oh, that was pleasantly like being drunk.
Kiwi hands him another chip.
And he goes, tips are always appreciated. I'm here every morning, and I make my rounds, in case you're at another end. And he takes the coin, puts it over, and he goes back and sits down at a table, and now he chooses a table a little bit further, a little closer to the door, and takes the 2 chips and spins them around and pulls out a pipe. So, again, a chip is a silver piece. So, that was actually a decent amount of money to pay someone, even like a
For
magician.
a headache here.
Yeah.
I think I need to have a conversation with his man.
Can we do it after the magic shop?
That
Because I
sounds
know-
dirty.
But he's smoking a pipe, and I think he knows about the tattoos. And he's smoking a pipe, and he just
What
made my head feel
tattoos?
better. Oh, I don't know when I got these.
Well, you didn't leave the inn last night.
I didn't remember leaving the inn, but I woke up and Days was there.
And I carried him and did
I don't think you
stuff
remembered
at
leaving the
tattoo
inn the
parlor.
first time. What are you talking about?
So you guys head out of the chimes and start meandering your way through the city. Is everyone going to...
Heal check
Nope.
on the tattoos, just to see.
if you want to put a little bit of
31.
extra effort into it,
Uh-huh.
you can heal basically the redness from the tattoos just being made, if you want. But they in all intents and purposes, feel like normal tattoos, but they have a very slight
needle
glow
ink.
of magic. Yeah.
Okay.
Like needle
That
and
was a
ink.
30. That was
What?
Like needle and ink, actual tattoos.
No, it's definitely a burn mark. Basically, the ones
Like
that are on his...
branded.
Yeah, they're like brands, only you can tell the way they were created, they're spell marks. You very rarely ever see a spell mark that's even distinguishable as anything. Most of the spell marks are just lines and dots and stuff that show different spells. For instance, Hiwi has spell marks all over her body that represent her different spells.
You only
Those
see
ones in
about
your
half of
hands?
them usually.
Those ones in your hands are very obviously spell marks.
And yet they look like skulls and crowns.
Yeah, they're very clear what they look like.
Hiwi is not a hollow saw.
So, you guys decide, figure out, if Amulet's not going to the shop, what are you guys doing? So, figure out who's going where when you go to the shop.
Magic shop. Completely not interested. I'm gonna find someone to fix my
It's too
shield
bad I got
so
up
it
too
doesn't
early.
look like
Otherwise,
a
I'd
girl
have
from
taken.
Austin.
I
I'd
guess
offered
you're
to
gonna
take amulet.
because Hiwi would like to go to the
Would you
magic
like to go?
shop
Well,
Sure.
and see what's going on.
in the interest of table continuity,
Yeah.
if we go to the magic shop and we keep Amulet outside with you, for example, because maybe you won't fit through the door, so that we don't have to
And
interact.
actually-
No, I've got
Well,
something else to do.
no, I mean-
Okay,
Well, yeah,
but-
but I'm just...
we can do a legit split in
Yeah.
2 different places at the same time. Okay. There's
Present.
No reason.
We're not going to hide what happened from him. Although, in my head, I'm like, I would prefer to kind of have him nearby. So, how about this? You need to go look for what? You want to see...
Someone
We'll
who
look
can-
for someone in that area
Did you close the door?
to maybe see, so that you'll be nearby.
Because his shield currently has a layer of paint over the Osran symbol that we would like to do something about so that people don't think we're associated with those fuckers.
Alright, so what's the plan?
They're going to the magic shop. Toy and I are going to find an armorer or someone who can modify the face of the shield.
Gent
And
with the coin in the pipe, I'm going to
our-
ask to meet him that evening.
and
He says he typically doesn't head back this way, but he
We're-
motions for 2 chips. I can make an exception.
We are looking mostly for, like, a place where they'll be nearby for the magic shop.
Okay.
I know there's no way they drank like the 5 gold coins that I gave, so that can continue to be their stuff to pull at the inn.
At the chimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you guys head out. Basically, the way the city is subdivided, as you guys kind of walk through it, there aren't signposts really anywhere, but there are lots of, there's no thing to say this is whatever street, but you can see a lot of
with one of those obelisks.
similarities. And you notice that there is, on the drags, on either side, while there are no buildings on the drag, there are basically carts and vendors and all kinds of stalls and stuff that get taken out and basically put as close to the people that are pulling the barges down as they can get without having people destroy their stall. So the whole area down the drag is very cluttered, and you see one of the
Very
larger
bizarre.
riverboats going, but it's instead of being a big open square, it's one long bizarre street that heads all the way down to the wharf. You guys had the description of where the magic shop was, so you head down that way, and there is easy to just talk to someone on the street. They can direct you towards a blacksmith's that's down by the wharf. Heading over there, you guys very easily see from a long way off, and everyone who has Arcana can feel the magic shop basically as soon as you turn down the street. Magic shop has a lot of wards placed on it. Has what you would probably say is an uncomfortable amount of wards being placed on that place. There is overlapping maybe 3 or 4 dozen wards placed on the building itself and the buildings nearby.
Is this wards to keep outward facing wards or inward facing wards?
What
Is it a cage or a fortress?
It's a fortress.
Okay.
Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see some of the wards, you're not really sure what they're for. Some of them are very clear. You see that there are wards for basically people inside have to tell the truth. You can see there are pressured to tell the truth, I should say. You can see there's things that concentrate on focusing, things that are keeping out evil creatures. You recognize that there's at least 3 magic circles overlapping that are against different types of creatures.
Okay.
And not just are they overlapping, but you can see that it looks like this is a design. This person, whoever did this,
Has some artistry to it.
yes, did a lot of work and made it look good.
Okay.
As you guys head down, the building itself looks kind of strange because what it looks like is a 3-story building, but it looks like half of the top story looks the same style as everything else, but shrunken. So there's a very obvious gap in the wall that's covered up, that where the top floor looks like 3 rooms of normal size, and then the 4th room looks exactly like the other 3 rooms, only it's about the size of a doghouse.
Okay.
This is an interesting team.
You notice people are walking down the street doing different things, and there is a Saul that's standing outside, basically has a stall that's obviously connected to the magic shop itself, is hawking wares to people as they're going by.
Not going into shop. Until we are pulled away, Iris and Vin are studying the runes and wards, taking notes, and
Kiwi is going to let them do that for only a short period because she's like,
We guys should do.
yeah, we're doing stuff.
So, you take a couple of notes, and basically start doing a little diagramming of what shops, because you notice that he's not actually, whoever's done this is not only protected their own shop.
Right, they protected kind of the surrounding neighborhood.
The surrounding neighborhood as well. So some of the wards for fire don't only protect the shop, but are overlapping ones where it protects the shop 3 or 4 times, and then protects each of the neighboring buildings once.
Right.
Because, if the neighborhood's on fire, you're on fire no matter how fireproof you are.
Well, no, you can do it. It just really lowers your property value when
Everything else around
everything
Everything
goes
else
around. Right.
So
And also, there's a lot more questions when you're the only person on the block who still has a standing house.
But you're the
So
one
as
with
you
the
guys go up and
firewall.
you see Iris is starting to, Iris takes notes and that sort of stuff. You see the Saul, who's standing out front, motion towards you and says, "Oh, Master Sprite, welcome. Come into Kiducan Jadu's shop." You notice that
Magic
everyone who's said his name
Says
the first name
like it's all one word.
like it's all one word.
Yeah.
Kiducan.
Just says, come on in. She noticed that a lot of the stuff that the Saul has in front of her are little trinkets. Things that do very minor things, like
Things
basically
that a
everything.
magician would sell.
Everything that's on the stalls in the front is all things that a magician would sell.
Gotcha.
A couple things that are on there are like things that just give off light. They don't do anything else. Basically, you can command it to...
Shiny.
Yeah, it's basically a minor flashlight and things of those natures. There's a couple things on the table that are kind of given a spot of more prominence that look like they're preserving food and that sort of nature. So a lot of really simple stuff. She's welcome. Come, Master Sprite, come into the shop. She motions for you guys to come on in. Does everyone who's along follow in? Inside the shop, the storefront outside was very organized. You could see very clearly where everything was. Inside of the shop is a train wreck. There's things hanging from the ceiling. There's just sort of stuff everywhere. There's little glass cases. You see some of the glass cases have all the stuff that's kind of clumped to one side, and
Like
then
it's
there's
been-
nothing on the other side.
Like it's been tilted over and set back up.
Right.
I'm so glad we didn't bring Chunkus in here.
Like a bowl.
It is a little awkward, but just because some of the aisles you've got tons and tons of space where Chunkus could walk there and be perfectly fine. Some of the aisles, if you want to actually go walk down them, you're gonna have to turn sideways and then make sure you don't move too much side to side, or you're gonna knock stuff off the
Tuck in
shelves.
your
That
elbows.
is why my
It'd be like a
apprentice...
Tarikma in a tea shop.
There's a lot of low-level magic items.
Or a very
Basically,
wild guard.
if you think of all kinds of magical weapons, magical armor, basically everything above
the
level
hill
5
dwarf.
or so and
They're
below,
not very civilized.
there's something represented in the shop.
Okay.
And
Gold
as you guys are
dwarves.
as you can feel out some of the magic in the shop, it's very eclectic. So all of this stuff was not created by the same person,
Uh-huh.
but
It's
there's
kind of found its all...
right.
Found its way.
Oh, it's a magical junkyard.
So
Generally.
as the Saul kind
My
of
tongue.
dips her head in, she makes a low whistling sound that carries very, very well through the entire shop. And you see a bunch of metal rings along the corners of the rooms vibrate and send the sound up into the next floor. And she says, the master of the house will be with you in a moment to speak with you. He does not often get to see sprites.
Are you a apprentice or merely a
Employee.
co-worker or employee?
She goes, oh, and she's wearing the more traditional mage's robe, and she has no house symbols on her that are in evidence. She pulls up her sleeve on one of her hand, and you see her arm twist and turn inside out, and you see the spell mark. She's a Saul, remember?
Yeah.
You see,
Still disconcerting to see.
yeah, it's still a little awkward to see.
So,
The vines turn.
so I'm going to take that as a yes?
You see, the spell mark covering her arm is very, very well done, and it's showing something that's a fairly high level spell. So the thing in her arm is probably an 8th or 9th level spell. And she covers the thing and turns and says, I'm my own master, but Kiducan, he doesn't do teaching young apprentices very well. He tends to have higher standards for people to work in his shop.
Have You mentioned that there hasn't been many sprites visiting. When was the last one? Or
no, there are sprites in the city. It's just he doesn't get many visitors of sprites here. It's been a couple of weeks, maybe.
a couple weeks? Oh.
You've noticed as you've been going around the city, sprites and guarg are about equal rarities, and you've seen maybe 3 or 4 of them of each going through the city. They're not like, it's not like you didn't see any, but they're very few.
Right.
So after a minute, and she kind of says, "Well, I must mind the stalls outside." She steps out of the thing. As you guys kind of look around and see just stuff everywhere.
Do Saul have a way of telling age, like how old she might have been, or
I'll cut her in half and count the rings.
There really isn't a decent way for telling Saul age other than
Cutting her.
so
They'll
like
tell you.
another Saul couldn't tell another Saul's okay.
So you.
How many
so,
octaves can she go up?
The easiest way is, how old are you?
So
Which he
after a
has
second, you
never
see
actually
a
answered fully for you
little
guys.
a little ball of yellowish orange light kind of pop down from a little spot in the ceiling. Basically, where those little rings are, there's a hole that's just barely big enough for a sprite to fit through, and he just pops through the thing and looks around. Oh, customers! Yes, welcome to Kiducan Jadu shop. I'm Kiducan Jadu, and come in. What do you need? Sprite. Have spell marks. Yes. All right. So, welcome to the shop. And you looks around, and he looks sort of, you can see he has a little bit of the illusion that a lot of sprites that are used to not having apprentices, they make an illusion around themselves of a human
body.
or some sort of thing to give them a face.
Magic puppet.
You basically see it's basically prestidigitation. You see it flicker back and forth between a whole bunch of different races, and then finally settle on human. But the illusion is kind of looking around the shop, and then as it solidifies as the vague outline of a human over top, and he goes, "No, nothing on this floor is for you. Come." And he kind of like floats over, and then he pops up through a hole in the ceiling, and then he's just kind of gone for a second. So he goes right through the ceiling. You guys can see there's an obvious set of stairs on the
Yeah,
other
I was
side
about
of
to
the
say,
room.
yes, Iris starts navigating her way to the stairs to go up.
Just as a heads up, Gary, so that you're aware of this, Kiwi keeps any spell over like roughly 5th level hidden. So most people who would see her would probably end up.
Do you remember the discussion about Hollow, Saul?
Mhm.
Okay. So, people who have spent any time with the Saul would know this. And since you guys have all spent some time with Kiwi, she probably would have mentioned this at some point.
She said Hollow Soul.
Yeah, I said Hollow Saul when
it's
I
happened at some point. It's seen as really poor form to wear your best spells on the outside. You generally wear just like low-level spells on the outside, and you keep your best stuff hidden within. Because it's seen as, like
boasting.
you're boasting. Saying, this is my best. But, So,
Which would be hilarious if, like, you put out a 9th level spell and everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, that's in bad taste." No, that's not my best.
That's kind of a low one.
I'm 30.
That's actually
Oh.
no. That's actually the way that you usually can tell how powerful a spell is. Because
Yeah, it
if
is.
they're boasting a 20th level spell, you better just smile, shake their hand, and be really nice.
So, you guys kind of navigate your way through, and Kiducan kind of like, explodes with more information as he goes up to the path.
You want a cup?
You want a cupcake?
Yeah, but I didn't want to actually interrupt the thing. I just hoping you would
The second
pass it to
floor
me.
is more organized, but
That's not
that's
saying much.
that means that this is, instead of it being a
That's like saying Hiroshima was slightly less terrible than Nagasaki.
right. It's I wouldn't go that far because that's
Wow.
really a bit much.
We-
But
There are people listening to us. Why would you? This from the guy who said HNIC. Why would you do that?
so, but this level of the shop is full of books. The first floor had a lot of trinkets, a lot of low-level magical items. This level of the shop
the
has
other one was worse.
books, and you can notice that while there are trinkets and stuff on the walls, these are pendants. These are pendants with good, strong power. Do you guys remember the difference between pendants and amulets in the world? A pendant is much like a scroll. one-time use,
Mhm.
burn and it's gone, and an amulet is a
That
long,
was
relaxing
right.
spell. Rituals of a certain strength need to be kept in either pendants or amulets, as do higher
I'm
level
so
spells.
glad this film's not going anywhere.
So,
Oh, that feels so weird.
as you guys come on up, Kiducan has exploded
I'm
with a
little
whole
bit touched.
ton of not very helpful information, basically talking about different things in the shop. And he goes, everyone's here, welcome, welcome, welcome. What are you looking for? You see the little, the human thing kind of cringes hands and looks like he's, almost vibrating with excitement.
We're actually looking for
Ritual.
a number of things. Would you prefer pleasantries exchanged at first, or straight to business?
Oh, well, business, of course. Whatever you need, I can get this. He kind of gets a little awkwardly close to you. Goes, yes, whatever you can handle, I can definitely get. And you hear him kind of get to a high pitched screech and go, servant! And you hear a thud of someone walking upstairs. And he goes, just tell me what you need, I can get there. And then as he's, trying to get stuff out of you, he occasionally will stop mid-sentence and go, servant! And then a very dour-looking, elderly mage, a human, kind of thuds down the stairs. Kind of looking at you. And he goes, hey, show them this, whatever you need. And he hands you this. He goes, that's all the stuff of interest. But if you want something else, something lower level, we can do that. These more complicated magics. I make a list, and when I build new things, I add it to the list. And what do you need? What do you need? He's got that book over. So, what do you need? He again floats a little awkwardly close.
Yes, this sound comes from Vin.
He was trying to talk to me. He just grabs Iris. Iris?
But who's
Could
holding
you do me
the
a
list?
favor?
What?
Jack. We
She's
need to
holding the
find
list. How the
Yeah.
fuck is he
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that?
He's holding it. He's Iris.
Vin's floating behind.
I actually thought you were with them. Okay.
I told you I left in the morning to go and deal with any business I might need to conclude.
Okay.
So, Huey turns to you. We were here to show him the crystal.
But I figure I can find out where they went when I go back.
I haven't
Oh,
forgotten.
you need a new roll for today.
Oh,
You save against the old roll.
natural 20.
Okay.
The crystal explodes.
Nope. You have empowered today. And whenever you use a daily attack power, you may make a saving throw. On a successful save, the power is not expended.
Oh, we gotta get in a fight.
Oh my god!
You will get a cumulative penalty every time. So the first time, just saving throw. If you use daily power again,
Yeah.
another saving
Seven
throw.
minus two.
It minus something.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Jack?
Hi.
Make sure my thumb is in the proper place.
Which one are you? For the people in the podcast, I have just handed them a list
Astral
of
Sober.
higher level rituals that they would be able to purchase. In my games, the way that rituals tend to work is that players can cast them at any level. However, if you cast a ritual that is more than one level higher than yourself, there can be strong negative side effects from scrolls or what's used in my game is pendants.
So Huey is going
How much
to
do we
ask
resurrection?
Iris for the pendant,
Okay.
or not the pendant, the
That might be a
crystal,
crystal.
so that we can present it.
Was there resurrection on the list?
I'm gonna look.
Raised Ebb was not on the list, no. Because there's no...
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't
It doesn't
exist.
exist.
Basically, if you want to get lower level rituals, you know how to buy them normally. You have to pay market price
Right.
once. Okay. Generally speaking, in his shop, he's going to have everything of 9th level and below.
Okay.
If it's above 9th level, it's only going to be things that are on that list.
Uh-huh.
And all the 9th level below, just say, hey, I got this. Let me glance at it. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be okay. But remember, in this world, things that are like
Portals,
necromancy, portals, those sort of things, they haven't really been made yet.
Right.
So the only ones that tend to exist are the ones that are very situational, because those are the first learnings of how to make the portals.
How much money are we dedicating to this?
We never discussed that before we left. And
Then
therefore,
yes.
How much money
Then-
do we dispose of at the moment?
How much money do we have?
So, I don't know if he even really wants to answer that question.
Yeah. Can we have a quick moment, Gary, just so we can?
Figure out
This
our
this
finances.
would have been a conversation that was had prior to going to the magic shop.
That's fine.
Because if you say, well, you have 50 gold, I would say, why am I wasting my time?
And if you want a pendant of any of the
Now, amulets are one-time cast.
other round, pendants are one-time cast. Amulets is actually buying the ritual.
Is buying the
So if
ritual.
you buy the amulet, you will have that ritual permanently.
Okay.
Assuming that you are the level to be able to learn it.
Right.
If you buy
If
the
not-
pendant,
Uh-huh.
then you have effectively
Oh,
the scroll.
those are
Right.
And while you can
thousands.
use the
And
scroll,
I'm not here. Don't worry.
hang on, guys,
Money.
focus in. You can use, say, if you're a level 1 character and you use a level 19 pendant, you can technically use it. However, the further it is above your level, the stronger the chance of it backfiring and having strong negative consequences happen. So, if it's anything more than 1 level above you, you get a penalty towards
Here's
using the
$20
actual
to
ritual.
crap with that.
Okay.
Just giving you
But it is
Now,
possible
if
to
you
use
want
it.
a pendant of any spell that's your level or below,
Uh-huh.
take the component cost and double it, and that's how much the pendant costs. Now,
And
which means in
Pendant.
his
Okay.
store, that's fairly cheap. One of the big things about it as well is if it has an alternate cost, for instance, if it costs a healing surge,
Mhm.
then that's going to jack up the price as well. But if you have a question about a specific one, we don't have to get into it now, but just between this session
Yeah.
and that's, tell me, hey, I wanted a pendant of this, here's what the component cost was, and I'll tell you how much money it cost.
I'm thinking mostly it's going to be amulets, because...
So, this
We
question
already
of,
have
one, how much money do you guys have? And then
Just
two, how
in
much you
total.
want to spend?
the total amount that we currently have, depending on how much, because this is, at the very least, if we sell the Kryn necklaces for 8,000 each, which was the lowest cost for them, we would have 45,000 total.
We're pretty rich.
And if we get top price for them, we'd have 55.
Well,
We are
This-
in a magic shop,
right,
which
I
means
was about to
Kryn
say,
is going to go
when-
mad. in this
when we're
place.
negotiating, I will we
would have
Um,
handed you one necklace. That's your bargaining chips. You essentially have 8,000 to 10,000 gold pieces, depending on how well you can convince him, how much you can convince him that is worth.
So, as soon as you
Well,
pull
and
out the
ultimately,
necklace,
if he agrees that it is worth a lot,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
then we
he
have
knows.
Oh yeah.
Well, my question regarding your prices. We would like to make a direct barter for,
My prices are very competitive. You'll not find some of those spells in any other shop in the city.
Oh,
and I'm not. And you see the
He-
apprentice go. He's not very good with money. You'll be
He-
dealing with me if you want to trade something that's not normal money. And he looks over at the Kryn thing and just doesn't have a
right, yeah.
reaction to it. And goes, if you want to trade that, I will take it to a jeweler and get it appraised and bring it back, and we can see what sort of money exchange we can have.
You're just a ball of sunshine, aren't you, darling?
Kiwi has pulled out the crystal and is just kind of holding it right now.
Okay. Kiducan goes from being kind of yellowish orange to being a little, bright yellow ball of energy. And he kind of floats down and goes, why? What do you want for that? It's the only time you've heard him speak anywhere near normal speed.
Well, actually, we had questions about it. She looks at Jack because, well, Jack should be talking.
Right, so,
Don't
tell us about that.
He kind of floats down and looks around and goes, ooh, I'm gonna need a little bit of time to examine this. You can leave it here, right? You can
What
leave it
is-
here. He
what
floats
kind
and
of
starts
spell?
spinning around it. I cannot tell you everything I need to know today. This is something that needs respect, needs time, and he kind of like steps back and the little thing glows.
Kiducan Jadu, how much time are we speaking?
Oh, I'm not sure what that does. I want to examine it. Days, weeks, months? I don't know. How long can I have it?
We may be willing to negotiate depending on the how I would probably say depending on how favorable the appraisal comes back on the 5.
That's boring. That's just money stuff. This is research. You should understand. You should understand knowledge. Your aura's a little messed up. You've come in contact with some bad magic. He kind of floats away back, and you see all the colors on his body go a little bit more muted. He goes, "You've come in contact with some bad magic lately."
Yes, we have.
Unfortunately.
I've seen.
What would a sprite call bad magic?
Like another sprite's arc spell, essentially.
I mean, you don't know. And
But yeah.
I don't want to limit your interaction at table, but at the same time,
You're not there.
you're not there. You know what I mean?
So, let's focus on this, just for a moment.
That's not the source of all of you. You all have a weird bit about you. That's not from that, is it?
We don't think so, but it's hard to explain. We've been to the Vale a couple of times, and had a few other odd things happen. Like, for example, last night I got these tattoos.
That'll happen down on the wharf. But no. He kind of floats back over, and you see the colors he's just oscillating between a bunch of different colors.
Yes, it is.
Get a good look at that.
Yes, a spell mark tied to the guy. That's not as important as this. What is... He starts circling around. This doesn't... You see... He gets closer, and you see the light start to fall on the thing. He goes, this doesn't feel bad. But something is not right about it.
The mark on that thing, we know it's from the sleeper.
Yes.
But at the moment, that's about the only thing we know. We don't know what it do.
It's
So now, we would be willing to let you stay with this and research it in exchange for information about what it do. So long as you was able to provide us some manner of monetary compensation should this get exploded in the process of you figuring out what it do.
Oh, no, I wouldn't damage this. No.
I
No.
ain't saying you do it on purpose.
No. You see, he goes immediately from being little bright colors to being dark green. Kind of goes, do you doubt my magic?
No, sir. But this thing has brought us nothing but a bit of difficulty. And so I ain't saying that there's anything wrong with yours or that you don't have the ability, but this thing is sort of shown to be a bit unpredictable.
It's unshielded red Nambian. Of course it's unpredictable. And you put a spell in it. You've made something like this into a simple amulet, but... And he goes, servant! The guy he's right next to him.
Yes.
I assume you want me to close the shop? He goes, yes, excellent. Get one in here. Go. And he just sort of like plods his way downstairs. After a second, you can hear some talking from downstairs. The little metal rings actually do send sound quite well from the two different floors. You can tell now that you've seen them a couple times that there is probably some sort of low-level enchantment on them to amplify sound. Which means that they can probably hear him yelling servant on the other side of the street.
Servant! I was going to say, he's standing on the other side of the street talking to a blacksmith. Servant!
I can probably hear him from wherever I am.
So, basically, he's gonna keep. Just a moment. Let me look at this. Once the useful servant comes back, I'll get to see more about this. And I just need a moment.
Would you like a towel?
Kind of like,
I think the sprite needs his hands.
Pretty much
he kind of like floats back. So while he's waiting and kind of coalescing himself
needs
and
a
waiting
tissue.
for the basically waiting for the shop to close and for the other for the Saul to come upstairs, I'm gonna switch over to the other people.